All right, no time to waste. We're coming in on fire today. UConn basketball, I'm a huge fan. Go Huskies. Going to double overtime with Auburn right now, so we're going to do a little companion. I was going to wait. I don't know what to do, but I'm going to watch the double overtime. So if you're watching this, let's do it together. I'm bringing up the box score. Let's dive right in. I had a million things I wanted to talk about. We'll get to football. We'll get to picks. We'll get to predictions. Right now, we're talking UConn basketball. It's a huge game against Auburn. Their real first test. These are two ranked teams. These are two teams that are definitely tournament teams. I like them both. UConn has turned the ball over 22 times in this game. Hawkins has been awesome for them hitting shots, and he just literally fumbles the ball. He's holding the ball. They're up. All they need to do is get fouled, shoot free throws, and win the game. And he just fumbles, gives it away. Auburn scores. We're going to double overtime. And it's really just wild to watch this UConn team. They don't have a lot of guards. They're trying to piece things together. They have bigger players that are really wings that are serving as guards. They have R.J. Cole, who's a good guard, but that's pretty much it. And Hawkins is the guy off the bench. And he really just looks totally defeated. I don't think you can put it back in. Sanogo is awesome for them. He's got 26 now. He just scored again. He has 8 turnovers, which is terrible, but he's a load down low. Auburn can't do anything to defend him, and I'd hope they just keep feeding him the rock. They got away from it for a while. Auburn is frisky, though. Bruce Pearl teams, they put so much pressure on the perimeter that UConn hasn't had the guard play to figure it out. We're tied again. Teams just going back and forth. This is going to be such a pivotal game because it won't be a bad loss for either team, I don't think, because you're losing to a ranked team, and at the end of the year, you'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. They lost in double overtime to a good team. But it is a huge win if you get it. So there's still a big discrepancy between the win and the loss. Even though it's not disaster if you lose this. This is a game UConn should have won. They were up a lot. They bang a 3. Let's go. It's big. Poly's so good for them. They really are a good team. They have so much size. They can actually shoot it. They turn the ball over a ton, which I don't like, but they have a ton of bigs to throw at you. If they can just get enough guard play from Cole, Gaffney off the bench, and Hawkins, who knows what's going to happen to his confidence after this. Unbelievable. Auburn comes back and hits another one. You can't make this up. It's crazy, the stuff that's going on right now. This game is just wild. 97-97. It's 100-100. They bang both threes. I mean, this on screen, you're going to be a little delayed from what I'm saying, but, just trust. And if you're watching it, then we can do this together. Get on the floor! UConn hustling. Big 3 from Cole. Missed. The offensive rebounds are insane from UConn. They're so much bigger and tougher. You got to win this game. They bang a 3 down. You can't turn back. I mean, look at the offensive rebounds. Come on. They got 12. Auburn has 11, actually. That's wild. But UConn's winning the rebound battle by a bunch. They have more assists. I mean, 13 steals for Auburn is wild. It's just turnovers. It's really nothing else. And that is something you can fix, but it's hard. It's really hard, and it takes a long time and a whole season to get the team on the right path to stop turning the ball over because they have almost everything else. They don't need to be dominant at guard. Normally in college you do, but they're so deep and have a lot of size. They're going to be a tough team to beat, but you got to fix these problems. Sanogo catches a lob. He's trying to go up. He does. Oh my God, this guy's so skilled in the post. It's insane. It is insane how good he is. Just keep giving him the ball. I feel like there was a stretch of 10 minutes where he just didn't get the ball for some odd reason. And now that he keeps getting it and posting, he's going into double teams. He's got such a soft touch around the rim. He's got floaters. He's got hooks. He's got up and unders. Auburn's just jacking shots, and they look tired. There's no reason to lose. You're up 5, a minute 40 left. Take care of the basketball, please. Please just take care of it. It's all you got to do. They look like they're trying to run clock here, which I actually don't like. Just run your offense. There's still 90 seconds left. You score here, you're fine. Just don't get bad shots and turnovers. Feeding Sanogo at the elbow. Makes a lot of sense. He makes a move. There's the float. No, that not there. Offensive rebound. They get fouled. So that's what they got to do. They got to be big. They got to attack in the paint. This team's tough. We watched Gonzaga yesterday, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I had notes that I never got to, but we'll get to it, I swear. There they are. See? There's notes. The Gonzaga game was so interesting because they were so much bigger, and while they were bigger, they could still handle the ball at those positions. I have a highlight I want to show in a little while. But UConn has that same thing. They're like, they're not Gonzaga, of course. They don't have the guards. Gonzaga has one of the best guards in the country. But they can do that. They can bully people and not lose out because they're not slow. Their feet aren't slow. They can still shoot. They can handle the ball. They can move. Their guards just happen to be big. Jackson and Martin are like 6'6" each. This team is really good. I don't think you're going to want to face them late in the season. They're good. They're well coached. I like them a lot. Auburn just shooting nonstop threes. They're bricking all of them. Thank God this is going to go our way. Oh, we got a cherry pick Sanogo. Oh my God. Cherry picking in a real basketball game. Up 9 now with a minute left. I mean, if you lose this, it's an actual nightmare. Sanogo with 30. Get some, big man. I love this team. I still like a Cook. I think he could play a bigger role. I really like them. Normally, you just need a dominant guard, though. Can Cole be that guy? I think he's his 5th year. He was a transfer last year. He's a tough kid. He can shoot it. He can handle it. He just isn't explosive. He's not going to go by you necessarily. But if he can just be solid enough to get all the other players in their role, I think they're going to be okay. I did see some good stuff from this KD Johnson kid on Auburn. He's really good. Sophomore. Playing great. Handling the ball for them. They're tough. And Smith is a freshman. Jabari Smith. And he looked shaky in the first half and then started taking over for stretches in the second half. He's really good.
Again. This time it's Jasper.
Let's look up a mock draft. I wonder if any of those guys are on it. It's an 8-point game. Auburn's on the free throw line. Let's see. Auburn. Yeah, I mean, Jabari Smith is projected to be the 4th pick in the draft. And he was not looking that way early. UConn really stifled him with size. He looked a little lost. And then he started getting the free throw line. He's hit 7 of 7 free throws. He's 2 for 5 from 3. He looks, you can see what's there, you know? I don't know if he's ready to play in the league. I wouldn't go that far, and I wouldn't even call him the 4th pick. But who knows? It's so early in the year for a freshman. We haven't seen him do anything yet. But you can see the raw skills. They're there. So I'll keep an eye on him as the season goes along. I hadn't watched Auburn until now. Bruce Pearl teams just put pressure on you. They're tough. They have like 1 million comebacks this season already. And they did it again today. Yeah, I mean, they beat Morehouse. They beat USF, but they had to come back in this one, I believe. Yeah, they won by 13 in the second half. They were down. So this is what Auburn's going to do. They're not going to give up. They're going to press you. They're going to run on you. But this is great. They're up 9. UConn fouls again. I mean, stupid mistakes. These are things that really hold teams back later in the year. That wasn't a foul. I mean, that's completely clean block. Come on, zebras. Yikes. Anyway, I just don't like the sloppiness. Once you see it once, it's hard to unsee from teams. Sloppy teams, it's hard to fix, especially with young kids. And especially a team that plays through their big men so much. It's going to be tough. And this 8 turnovers by Sanogo has to be fixed. It just has to be because he's scoring 30. I know you're playing through him a lot. He's taking a lot of shots, though. He's 12 for 25. So, like, this was obviously part of the game plan, and it's working. But also, oh, my God, UConn just... They inbounded it and threw it straight out of bounds for a turnover. They're up 7. They're trying to blow this game. They've been trying to blow it so hard. You are going to watch my head explode if they lose this game. They were up 9 with 50 seconds left. Now they're up 7 with 47 seconds left. My head might explode on stream. That might be against the terms of service for Twitch and YouTube, but I can't help it. Another foul. They just keep fouling. They just do everything wrong down the stretch to try to keep Auburn in the game. Smith going back to the free throw line. He's looking like he's getting more and more confident as this game goes on. I mean, he's got 17. He's at the line. He could have 19. Cut the lead to 5. I wonder at what point they start fouling. Force UConn back to the free throw line. I mean, UConn hit 15 for 26 from 3. Auburn shooting really well from 3, too. 12 for 28. This is just a wild game. But if you just clean up the turnovers, I don't even think this game is particularly close. And if you just don't make so many mental errors, Dan Hurley is not going to be happy with how they played tonight. If he gets a win, that'll be great. And Hawkins will get off the hook, and hopefully it won't shatter his confidence completely, because the play was really, really bad. I'll see if I can find it. UConn inbounding. I mean, maybe we can get the ball in. All right. Cole with the ball. They're not fouling yet. They did. Okay. 37 seconds left. I kind of figured they would have to. Not Justin Hawkins, lead singer of The Darkness, although they did have an album come out recently. This is the play.
Here comes Hawkins. And he lost the ball! He turned the ball over!
Yeah, I don't want to get hit for copyright, but it was pretty rough. I'll play it small here. He just comes in. He has it. And just... the ball's just greased up, man. Come on. UConn on the free throw line. 37 seconds left. Up by 6. You just got to hit free throws and get out of this game. Stop turning it over. Stop making silly fouls. Hit free throws and be done. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's not rocket science. You just play solid defense, but if they're going to go to the rim, you let them go to the rim. Sanogo gets a block. I mean, I'm still scared with him going up for that. But he does get a block. Goes out of bounds. 30 seconds left. Up 7. Wild. Absolutely wild stuff. I can't believe you're going for a block there. If you foul, it's a nightmare. Alvin Kamara ruled out for Thursday, too, which we kind of knew already. But, you know, that came across the bottom line. We'll talk about football. I swear we will. I swear we will. And UConn fouls on a 3. I mean, you really can't even make this up. You couldn't script this because you wouldn't believe it. The nonsensical plays that they are making are making me, even if they win, I'm not going to feel as good about this. Come on, it's bad. Let him pull up and shoot if he's going to shoot it. Put a hand up, straight up. I don't understand. How many times can you do this over and over? And Hurley can't pull players off the court because the game's on the line. But he's got to be upset with this. This is craziness. And these are seniors. Isaiah Whaley fouls out. If this goes to a third overtime, UConn's dead. They have nobody left. Jackson fouled out already. Martin fouled out already. And now Whaley is fouled out. This is feeling like this 6 overtime game again. Everyone fouls out and they just get smoked later in the overtime because they just don't have any horses to throw at them. Unbelievable what's happening here. 3 shots. They're up by 7 with 22.9 left. And if he hits all 3, he cuts it to 4. Then a foul. I mean, I know this is going on a long time, but this is really... You got to be concerned about this. You just have to be. Look at this overtime. This is the second overtime, right? Turnover, foul, foul, foul on UConn. It's just, there's so much of it. It's too much of a pattern to not take forward with you, which is unfortunate. Because I think this is going to be a thing we're going to start talking about now. Can they take care of the basketball? Can they cut down on bad fouls? Can they be smarter? They have a really good coach. Maybe this stuff gets fixed, but these kids aren't freshmen. This team was basically together last year. So... maybe Auburn's pressure is just too much, and maybe it's getting in their head, and maybe it's just a sloppy game. It's being played in Atlantis in the Bahamas. I think. I don't even know. Is it actually being played in the Bahamas due to COVID? I mean, it's a battle for Atlantis, but actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know. Yeah, it is. UConn up 4 inbounds, and they turn it over. It's really wild. It is really... This is... I don't have any good words for this. There's going to be a meme out there with Dan Hurley's face just like... Oh, man. And he can't believe it, and I don't blame him. Oh, they're standing out of bounds when he tries to steal it. You can't do this. That is nonsense. Oh, my God. They're going to review. It's going to take 3 years. He can't stand out of bounds while you're trying to trap him. I don't think that's good. That wasn't the guy that stole it, but I don't know. Can you do that? It seems wrong. He gets triple teamed. They inbound it to the corner, which is awful. And it's off of Auburn anyway. I mean, it's going to be UConn ball. It's a terrible job. The ref is standing right there. This review should take 2 seconds. Now you're getting a live view of how much I hate these reviews. I've said it a million times on the stream and on the videos. Now you're seeing in the moment. This should be done. It should be already, we're inbounding the basketball now. No problem. It's very, very clear. It went off of the Auburn player. Let's overturn this and get it going. Get them back to the free throw line. This game's still going to take a while. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Ugh. What goes on? I guess in the meantime I could tackle some other topics, but it's gonna go fast. The review comes through. I don't have sound on, so I'm relying on myself and my eyes. They're gonna give the ball to Auburn. Wow. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I don't understand. Auburn for 3. No good. UConn gets a rebound. Hold the ball. Good. They foul. All right. They should escape. I mean, they're up 4 on the free throw line with 14 seconds left. Auburn looks frustrated. They should. I don't know what the refs are looking at. I don't have time to figure it out now. But that was crazy to me. I mean, it looked so clear. They botched that. This game was just nonsensical, right? For both teams. Both teams have a lot of issues. Auburn just started jacking threes, and they shot it at a respectable percentage, but way too much. I think they got scared that UConn was so big. But UConn's in foul trouble. They should have been attacking, especially Sonogo has had 4 for a while. Smith, I think, fouls out there. He's upset. I mean, this is a draining game to lose. This is why I just wanted to avoid losing this game. Winning it is great. It is. You just don't want to have to go home after this game knowing you came back a bunch of times and you had big leads.
Or does he just trust his guard?
It could have gone a different way, you know. UConn knocks down the first one. Gaffney on the line, backup guard. He knocks down the second one clean, and we should be home. Up 6, 13.8 left. Do not foul, please. For the love of God, let him shoot it. I don't even care. Let him do whatever he wants. Don't go near him. They throw it up. It's no good. Ball's loose. UConn's on the floor. Everybody's on the floor. They're hustling. That's out of bounds on Auburn. It just has to be. 1.8 left, and UConn will finish it off. We don't need to talk about this anymore. They get the victory. Let's look at the KenPom ratings. Coming into this, UConn was 22nd. Auburn was 30th. I can't imagine either team should go down. I really can't. But UConn should take a leap here. I think they're better than some of these teams above them. They're still undefeated. And they're in the mix. This team's good. Sonogo scores 30. I mean, you got to deal with him. You got to have some size to deal with UConn. That's a fact. Or you got to really. Some teams are going to look, and they are going to take the playbook that Bruce Pearl wrote up to absolutely pressure them. Anyway, let's move on quickly. I want to talk about a couple things. Cincinnati finally gets into the top 4 of the college football playoff rankings. Will they stay there? I don't know. If they win out, they kind of have to stay there now, right? Or it'll just be chaos in the streets of Chicago. Like, what would happen? We don't want chaos there. It's a dangerous place. Good place. Cool. Fun. But still. I hope the committee is committed to them now. They waited this long. This is why I thought they kept them out of the rankings in the first place, because if you put them in, it's hard to take them out unless they lose. So now they waited. Now they put them in. They are tying their wagon to this team long term now, because if they don't lose and they kick them out, it will be nonsense. So good luck to them. Good story. We'll know the truth eventually. They probably just don't belong because they're not as good as the rest of the teams. But when they don't lose a game, it's hard to deal with when everyone else is losing. The NCAA kind of just needs to expand the playoff a lot, which they might do. They will, to avoid this kind of stuff. Or just create a separation between the Power 5 and the non-Power 5 conferences. I think that's reasonable to do. We're acting like they're the same. They're not the same. There's already a built-in divide because it took Cincinnati this long to get here, and the strength of schedule just isn't the same. So stop pretending and either build it in or expand the playoffs so we don't have to deal with this kind of stuff anymore. But I'm intrigued to see what will happen. Cincinnati will play Houston in the conference championship game, and if they win that, especially if they win convincingly, I'm getting a lot of texts about UConn. Gutsy win, that's right. Yeah, if they keep winning, they're in, and they're going to get smashed in the first round of the college football playoff, and then everyone will forget, and no one will care, and here we are. Steve Cohen getting angry on Twitter again. He didn't get to sign Steven Matz, and he claims that the agent would have given him a chance to match a contract offer. Hey, maybe agents don't like you because as soon as something bad happens, you blast them on Twitter all the time. Just a thought. This is why owners don't go on Twitter. It can't really help you. It helped in the first place because everyone's like, oh, he's a normal guy. Cool. And now it's kind of costing him a little bit, and I feel like he's going to burn relationships by being this guy. Maybe also hire a GM before late November to, try to sign players, and then don't be mad when you barely hire a GM until the new year, and then you miss out on people. I mean, come on. Only other major story I had was the Rams paying $790 million to St. Louis to get out of a lawsuit for screwing them out of their own team. We talked about it on one of the previous shows. I don't want to go into it too much because we're already running low on time, but it's odd that a $790 million fine doesn't get more coverage. It feels like you have to read between the lines to even know that it's there. No one's talking about it. And because no one understands the legality of the case, I get it, and neither do I. But still, almost $1 billion for stealing a team from St. Louis, basically. And no one even talks about it. That's how ridiculous the NFL is. Weird. We'll talk about Alvin Kamara being out of a single game forever. But when $1 billion change hands because of shady stuff happening with the ownership, nobody cares. Okay. Let's talk about Chet Holmgren. Watch this play.
Between him and the basket, didn't allow him to make that attack off the bounce.
Block. Big fella rolling in, but it's Holmgren with another stop.
Dribbles down.
Wait, defensively, he has been the man. Look at that move!
Slam it. This dude is 7 feet, 195. First of all, Dickie V on the call. He was crying because he's just getting through cancer. He's still fighting through it. He got back to call this game because it was a huge game. He cries as soon as the intro starts. Everyone's tearing up. There's onions being cut everywhere, myself included. It was just an awesome moment. I love Dickie V. Basketball just sounds better with him on the call. But yeah, look at this. Look at this guy. Plays the pick and roll perfectly, right? I know it's hard to see, but we're going to work with what we have. I don't want to get it taken down if I put it full screen for copyright issues. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'll figure it out as we go along. But he plays the pick and roll. Look at this. He's hedging. He's stopping the ball. He's still rolling with the big man. He knows exactly how much space he needs. This is like when Giannis blocked Ayton in the finals. He knows exactly where he has to go. Boom. He gets there. He's long. He gets his own rebound. No problem handling the ball at 7 feet. Dribbles by his man. You can't handle that. Bang! This dude is crazy good, and he's not even their best player. He might not even be their second best player. Gonzaga just smashed UCLA. Now, UCLA couldn't shoot. So my breakdown of the game yesterday wasn't necessarily wrong. I didn't want to bet on this one. I thought Gonzaga might win. I thought 7 was a little too many, and UCLA ends up getting blown out. But I figured UCLA could spread them out, get a lot of open looks on the perimeter. They started to, but they couldn't hit any of them. They were 1 for 10 to start the game from 3, I think, in the first half. And then they stopped shooting because Gonzaga was getting insanely easy baskets every time down the other way. UCLA had to try to match that, and the game just totally got away from them. We'll see what Duke can do to Gonzaga on Friday. It sure seems like you're going to need to at least try to match size with them. Otherwise, you need to hit every single jumper you can create from mismatches on the other end, and Duke isn't the team that you want for that. They're not a lights-out shooting team. We'll see. We were just talking about the UConn team. Like, that's a team that can match up size-wise with Gonzaga, but they'll get blown away at the guard position. Duke can do a little bit of both. They just need to make sure they're not relying on three-pointers to get back in the game because it'll go really, really far south. And they need Banchero to outplay Timmy. That's a fact. We'll see what happens with that on Friday. Yesterday's pick, we had one pick. We only had one, and it was easy money. Lakers +7 at the Knicks. They lose by 6. Knicks were up by like 25. I had no question that the Knicks would eventually blow it. They blew it all the way. Lakers had the lead at some point. Knicks did come back and win. Good for me. And +7 hits. Good for me. And good for you. The NBA picks are ridiculously hot. We haven't missed in a while. But today we need to turn our sights to Thanksgiving, turkey, thankfulness. We're putting positive energy out into the world so the gambling gods know And we're going to try to break these games down a little bit and make our picks before we head into the holiday. We start with the early game, Bears-Lions. Look, Andy Dalton's playing in this game. Jared Goff looks like he's going to play. I'll check if there's been any news since the last time I looked it up, but it seems like he's going to play. Either way, I don't want to trust an injured Jared Goff, right? But yeah, who knows? I mean, we don't have a questionable, but he's been practicing. I think he's going to suit up. I don't want to trust Andy Dalton. He looked horrible when they came in. They've lost 1 million games in a row. Dalton was 11 for 23 against a Ravens defense that isn't good. And I have to take him as a -3. Let's see if the line has moved at all, but I don't think so. Yeah, -3 on the road. Andy Dalton. I know it's the Lions, and I really don't want to have to wager on the Lions. But Matt Nagy is going to be fired. They announced that he's going to be fired after the Thanksgiving game. If you're in the locker room, how do you possibly get up for that game? How do you care about this? Your quarterback isn't there. Fields was finally looking good. I had reason to believe that. I took the Bears last week because I thought Fields is looking good. They're going to move the ball. He gets hurt. Dalton can't move it at all. They don't run the ball particularly well. They probably will in this game against the Lions. I also don't want to take the Lions, of course, but I can't side with a road favorite of a team who's bad, with a backup quarterback, with a coach who is going to be fired the morning after the game. He might not even make it to Thanksgiving dinner with his family with a job. I cannot do that. It seems like it's hard to take the Lions. I'm not going to say bet the Lions +3. We'll get to my pick at the end of the day after we break down the all 3 games, which I'll try to do relatively quickly. But this Bears defense is really bad. Khalil Mack hasn't played. They're so banged up. Let's look at the injuries. Akeem Hicks won't play. Damian Williams won't play. Marquise Goodwin is in the NFL, apparently. Justin Fields won't play. Allen Robinson is doubtful. This is a short week with a bad coach. Going on the road. Backup quarterback. Everyone's gone. Their defense has been terrible. Danny Trevathan's on the IR. Eddie Jackson's questionable. Their whole team's not playing. Why am I taking the Bears as a road favorite? I'm not. So if you're in a pool, I'll take the Lions +3, and if you could tease them up to 10, we'll get to it. But I think that might be the move. And honestly, you want to sprinkle some money on Detroit money line? I don't hate it. I'm not taking the Bears as a road favorite here. I'm just not doing it. Their coach is so bad. Their defense is bad. This is going to be a pretty ugly game. But the Lions, Dan Campbell is one of the most fiery coaches that, I mean, look at this dude. He's giving a good speech. You know it. Look at that man. He's going to have this team fired up. It's Thanksgiving, home crowd. This is the Super Bowl for the Lions. This is the one game they can actually win. They won't go winless. They already tied the Steelers. They've been playing pretty tight against some people. Let's look back. I mean, they're not good, obviously, but they only lose by 3 at the Browns. That's on the road. They go on the road to the Steelers and tie them. They get smashed by the Eagles. Sometimes they're going to get killed. They only lose by 9 at the Rams. They only lose by 2 at the Vikings. They played the Bears before and got beat up, but that was in Soldier Field, and they only lost that by 10. You can tease this to 10 at home. I'm taking that. I'm talking myself in. I like the Lions on the teaser. They have competed. They really have. This Vikings game came down to a last-second field goal. I don't think they're as bad as 0-9-1 makes it seem to be. Jared Goff might be better than Andy Dalton. And Swift has been unbelievable for them. He's been really good. 500 yards, but the past few games, last game he looked really good, right? Oh, yeah. 136 and 130, both road games. And he did 136 yards on 14 attempts. He had a 60-yard run. He had a touchdown. This Bears team can't stop him. He's going to be able to run wild. He's the best skill player on either team. I like Mooney on the Bears. He might score if you want a daily fantasy play or something like that. But I think Swift can control the game. I think the Lions can control the clock. I think they're going to be more motivated. I think the crowd's going to be hyped. It's an early Thanksgiving game, so no one doesn't want to go because you can do this. You can get home for dinner. And this is their Super Bowl against a backup quarterback and a team that's dead with a coach that is on the way out. Give me the Lions. Give me the Lions. Thanksgiving Day miracle. I think the Lions might win this game, and I love them plus 10. I really do. Let's move on because that game is just not worth talking about for that long. Raiders-Cowboys is much more interesting. Now, let's look at the injury report because that's going to be huge for the Cowboys. It's a short week. The Raiders, honestly, look, it's going to be hard to take the Raiders at all. The spread is around 7, maybe up to 7.5. 7.5. It got up to 8 in some places. I mean, this is begging for a Cowboys tease, right? I can't put any faith in this Raiders team. They look like they've completely come undone. Rumors of Derek Carr maybe getting benched. Mariota's back. I don't think they should do that. I think Carr is the furthest thing from the problem, but they have no skill players to give the ball to. They all of a sudden are turning into a running team behind Josh Jacobs. I don't like that. Dallas is going to dare them to throw it down the field, and without Ruggs, they haven't looked like they have an option there. Waller is going to have a field day, but he does every week, and they don't do anything else. Hunter Renfrow, like they're not going to strike fear into anyone Dallas has. So even though Dallas's defense is a little injured, I think it's okay. Is CeeDee Lamb going to play? I believe he's been practicing. So no injury designation for Tyron Smith, so he's going to play. Huge for Dallas, because now they can just run the ball down the Raiders' throats, and the Raiders can't do anything about that. I can't imagine they're going to do anything to Zeke. Zeke's hurt, but he's going to play through it, and Pollard's actually the guy I like this week. Another daily fantasy play. He's the healthier one. He might have a lion's share of the carries if Zeke is trying to nurse his way through an injury, especially if the Cowboys are already winning. I think Pollard could have a big game. Cooper, we know, is not going to play. This is Bills Saints. That's not where I want to look. But CeeDee Lamb is questionable, but I believe he practiced. We'll see what happens with that. Will practice today, completed the 5th step of concussion protocol. Team is hopeful he can play tomorrow. I mean, that's gigantic for them. Absolutely gigantic. Yeah. Must complete today's practice without a setback. That was 5 hours ago. We would have known if he had a setback. And has to receive clearance, but it looks like he's going to play. He's on track, and that's it changes everything. Dak is the better quarterback. They have the better receivers. They have the better running backs. They have arguably a similar defense since Dallas is so banged up. The only thing the Raiders have going is they have a better pass rush for sure, but now that Tyron Smith is back, I don't see that being a problem. I bet this line will balloon up to 8-9. So get it in while you can. This is just a fate of the Raiders. I don't think Dallas is going to lose. And actually, Dallas at home on Thanksgiving, same thing as the Lions at home on Thanksgiving. It's not a game that they need as much, but coming off that ugly loss to the Chiefs where it seemed like so many question marks for them, I think they'll want to come home and get right. It's just the same way they bounced back hard after the other loss they had to Denver, and then they beat the Falcons 43-3 at home. They have a bad game. They get a home game against a team they know they can shred, and they shred them. They have a bad game. They have a home team against a team they know they can shred, and they might shred them. This is a coach that isn't even a real coach. He's an interim coach. No disrespect. But after Gruden gets fired, I can't imagine an interim coach is going to prepare that well for a better team, a better opponent on a short week, Thursday night, Thursday afternoon. It's a holiday game. It's just so hard to see the Raiders getting up for this, and I can see them going down early and just getting smashed. But to be comfortable because of Dallas's injuries and because it's a short week and I don't trust Mike McCarthy that much to have a perfect game plan together, I just don't like him. Kellen Moore actually should probably be the coach there, but that's neither here nor there. I'll definitely take Dallas because I'm not taking Vegas. I worry about a backdoor, but I also think there's route potential here. And if you want to tease Dallas, I totally understand that. And, you know, maybe we're giving away what the pick is going to be, but we'll get there in a minute after we cover Buffalo and the Saints. Now, in this game, a lot to think about. Everyone's down on the Saints. Kamara's out. Ingram's hurt. Simeon looked very pedestrian last week, but if you remember, we took the Saints last week against the Eagles, and they got smashed from the jump, but what didn't happen is they just didn't roll over. They came back. They actually looked like the better team in the second half for large stretches, and then Sean Payton kicks a field goal while down 14 with 4 minutes left or whatever and just gives the game away. I don't know what that was about. But that was a road game for the Saints where they traditionally don't play that well. They're better in the Dome for sure. And this Bills team I just think is flawed to the point where I don't know if I want to give a touchdown on the road with them. I think this spread's a little big. I think people still think of Buffalo as a Super Bowl contender, and I just think they're a little bit of a flawed team. I think New Orleans can still stop the run. I think Buffalo doesn't run it well, nor do they want to run it at all. So last week I predicated my pick on New Orleans being able to shut down the run against Philly. I do think they'll be able to shut down the run against Buffalo. I think Buffalo could commit to the run if they wanted to open things up, especially like some Josh Allen runs designed. He can do well against them probably, but I'm not scared of Zach Moss or Singletary, although I think Moss is better. I don't know why he doesn't get the ball more. Real problem is I don't like Buffalo's skill players, and for a team that wants to throw it all over the yard, they want to be the Chiefs, but they don't have the Chiefs players. Dawson Knox is a nice little piece. I don't think he's going to wreck a game and win for you. Diggs is awesome, but Marshawn Lattimore makes it a habit of shutting down opponent number one receivers. And if there's another way to beat New Orleans, it's spread it out to all the other people. Is Emmanuel Sanders and Dawson Knox going to dominate you? I don't know. I don't think the Saints D is that bad. I don't think Josh Allen is that good. And if he proves me wrong and has a Cole Beasley 10-catch, 80-yard game, because they just take that stuff over the middle, then they probably will have success. But it's going to be on Josh Allen to take what's in front of him against and go away from Diggs sometimes against Lattimore. Now, if Diggs beats Lattimore, then that changes the whole game. But this is same as Chicago is better than Detroit, right? And yeah, Buffalo is better than New Orleans. I get that. But I'm not comfortable with laying this many points with a team that I can't really trust. Buffalo just hasn't looked good. When have they looked good? They beat the Dolphins 35-0. Who cares? I mean, it's good, but that game got away. They crushed Washington. All right. They crushed the Texans. All right. They lose to the Steelers. They beat the Chiefs. They looked good in that game, but the Chiefs were reeling and tons of injuries, and that was actually a weird game too. They lose to the Titans. They beat the Dolphins, but didn't look good at all in this game. They lose to the Jaguars. They beat the Jets, but who cares? And they get smashed by the Colts, and the Colts prove you can run on them, and if Mark Ingram plays, maybe the Saints can run it a little bit too and just keep them off their back. I'm not saying the Saints need to win this game, and I don't even like wagering on this game in general, really. But Buffalo still has injuries on the offense and the defense. Let's look at their injuries. Let's see. Spencer Brown not going to play. Star Lotulelei not going to play. He's a huge run stuffer for them. When he doesn't play, it's a problem. And he's on the reserve list, but it seems like he's not going to play unless he comes back in a miracle. But I don't know if Feliciano's playing in this one. They have injuries that are hard for them to overcome, and I don't think they have enough skill players. Now, New Orleans has no skill players. This is a tough game. This is a really tough game. I think the spread should be more like where it opened, Buffalo -4.5, and then people hammered them all the way up. Again, I don't feel good about taking Detroit at home either, but I don't feel great about taking New Orleans, but I think the Saints are better than they showed last week. They play better at home. I don't know if Buffalo's going to adjust enough to what they need to do here when the Saints potentially throw them off their game. Buffalo wants to rely on the pass, and they want to rely on Diggs, and New Orleans knows how to shut down number one receivers, and they're stingy against the run. And so unless Buffalo changes their attitude here in some way, which they haven't really done all season, I don't know how they're going to do. Now, the thing is, Buffalo could really hold them down. I like the under in this game. We haven't done a lot of over-unders, but all we're talking about is how these offenses might struggle. Buffalo D we know is very good. Simeon hasn't looked very good. This number has been dropping. It's already very low. But I could see this being an ugly game where it's 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. So maybe I just lean the under, but gun to head, I think I go with New Orleans plus the 6.5 if I can get it. Just because I see avenues toward this being a close game. Both teams need the game. They really do. Both teams are going to want it. Buffalo, if they just can't withstand any turnovers here, and they tend to turn the ball over. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just not convinced with this Buffalo team. I don't believe in them that much that they're a touchdown road favorite on a short week. That's hard. This is the same spread that New England had against Atlanta on a short week. And that game seems so much more far apart than Buffalo and New Orleans to me. I think these two I think New England is better than Buffalo, and I think New Orleans is better by a lot than Atlanta. And so why are those the same spread, really? And that was a route, and, you know, who knows? Maybe this will be too. But I think I'm just going to lean with the home team. And I like all three home teams on a short week with motivated crowds, Thanksgiving Day. I don't know if New Orleans will be able to pull off the upset. But yeah, I could see it being like a 4-point game and Simeon just doesn't get there against a good defense. And it never really felt in doubt, but New Orleans somehow covers. So if you're in a pool of some kind, this one's tough. I like the other two games a lot more. But I think I would just take New Orleans. See if there's any interesting tidbits in the preview here. Yeah, and people are talking about how Jalen Hurts did well last week. I don't think he did. I really don't think he did. I think they just ran the ball well, and it was a weird anomaly. But he did run it well. Hurts ran it well, which is what the Bills need to do. They need to take a picture of that and have Josh Allen scramble a lot more and get into broken plays. I'm just not sure that I'm ready to laying a touchdown on the road. You have to be so much better than the opponent on a short week. So much better. And I just don't know. I'm just not ready to commit to that. I'm not liking gambling on this game. I know it's the night game and everyone will probably want to. And, hey, whatever floats your boat. But I don't think I'm going to do that. So before we wrap up here, I want to take Chicago, fade them, take Detroit +3. Vegas, fade them, take Dallas -7, 7.5. It's going to get up to 8. What are you going to do? For pool purposes, this is. Buffalo, I'm going to fade them. I'm going to take the 3 home teams, but my real pick that I really, really enjoy is going to be Lions +10 at home and Cowboys pick 'em at home. You get a 7-point teaser. It comes out to generally -130, something like that. You're getting the Lions +2 scores. I see so many ways where they even win the game, but I'm buying myself some Lions insurance because they're the Lions. They'll try to blow it. I could see them missing a field goal. It doinks off the upright and they lose or something. So you'll feel good to have the +10 there. I don't think the Bears are going to score very much with Andy Dalton at quarterback. And I don't see if the Cowboys lose at home to Vegas, there's going to be so many question marks. You're going to be like, oh, well, they lost at home to Denver and Vegas, and they got beat by the Chiefs and couldn't score against them. Like, what's the problem? And Dallas seems to be getting healthier. That one feels very free. A lot of people are going to go towards that Dallas-Buffalo tease because it seems too obvious because they both just have the right numbers there, and that's kind of why I want to get away from it. I like Dallas at home much more than I like Buffalo on the road, and I don't want to take them together because I'm scared that Vegas is going to clean up on that somehow, not the Raiders, the casinos. So give me the 7-point tease, Lions and Cowboys, and if you really want action in the Buffalo-New Orleans game, I'd take the under. I know it's not that fun, but I can see a lot of stretches where like they either don't score in the red zone because neither quarterback is super deadly there, or you just have a whole quarter of no scoring and a bunch of punting and some turnovers. So I like the under in that one. And you really obviously could take the under in Chicago-Detroit, but it's 41.5. It's wildly low. I mean, who knows? You just get an ugly fumble or a pick six or something, but two bad teams. I'm just not going to do that. So that's it. That's all we like. Those are the Thanksgiving picks. The official turkey leg pick. Go big. Everyone wants to win a bet, go into the night game, grab a whole turkey leg, and bite out of it. That's what you want. That's what everybody wants. That's the dream. I'm very thrown off because we started this with UConn madness, but they win the game. Proud of the Huskies. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving. I won't be on tomorrow, but we will be back Friday to do more football breakdowns. Shorter week, fewer games, because we have the 3 tomorrow. So we'll dive into each of them. We will make more picks. We're going to get back on the right track. Thanksgiving is going to be a profitable, fun day. I hope you all have a fun time with your family. Follow me at MikeTheMush Sports on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the Twitch page, twitch.tv/MikeTheMush. Follow the YouTube, search MikeTheMush. Doing a fun podcast episode tomorrow. I'm going to record it on Thanksgiving with my family for the Link podcast, which is an audio-only podcast that I run. It's not sports. It's everything else. At the Link_podcast, if you're interested in that. I would appreciate if you gave it a follow on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to podcasts and stuff like that. And that's all I got. We will be back Friday. We will recap these games. We will do more picks. We'll be around. I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving. See you Friday.